Vasistha here is trying to explain how the world arose. And how we get this sense of reality. And I think it's quite arbitrary what he's saying here. You could create or concoct any story you like for how this apparent infinite consciousness, which is all there is, generates these notions that the objects of its own consciousness have some kind of independent reality. And he's bringing in this idea of the jiva, which previously was the individualized consciousness, the individual psyche. But here it's got a more cosmic sense, it's more primordial. It's also known as Hiranyagarbha, which I think means the golden germ. It's that pure essence of something. So he talks about the future jiva. So there's a kind of cause and effect arising from this eternal, effulgent, infinite consciousness. And there's no cause and effect. There's no cause and effect. So we're getting a story here, and I don't think it's very convincing. So I'll just read on with it. In space, the faculty of sound manifests itself. Then comes into being egotism, which is vital to further creation of the universe, and at the same time the factor known as time. All this happens merely by the creative thought inherent in the cosmic being, not as real transformations of the infinite. By the similar exercise of the creative thought, air is created. The Vedas come into being too. Consciousness, which is surrounded by all these, is called the jiva, which gives rise to all the different elements in this world. The Vedas are the ancient scriptures, the ancient Aryan scriptures, which apparently were written down about 3,000 years ago. They're ancient hymns, generally associated with the Aryan invaders that came from southern Russia into the Indian subcontinent. There are 14 planes of existence, each with its own type of inhabitants. All these are the manifestations of the creative thought of consciousness. Even so, when this consciousness thought, I am light, sources of light like the sun, etc. were instantly created. Similarly, water and earth were created. I don't think the consciousness thought, I am light. There's no cause and effect, it is all just happening. Previously I mentioned the Buddhist term Tathata, which just means suchness. Everything is as it is. It didn't come into being any more than a baby in a dream came into being. All these things are happening. I mean, what would happen if you did an operation on somebody in a dream? You'd open them up and you'd find all their guts and so on. People in a dream have eyes, and you have eyes in a dream, but you don't need these eyes to see in a dream. All these fundamental elements continue to act on one another as experiencer and experience, and the entire creation came into being like ripples on the surface of the ocean, and they are interwoven and mixed up so effectively that they cannot be extricated from one another till the cosmic dissolution. And that cosmic dissolution is what can happen within us right now. These material appearances are ever changing, and reality exists unchanged. Since these are all linked with consciousness, they instantly become gross physical substance, though all these are the infinite consciousness alone, which has undergone no change whatsoever. I wonder why, since all material appearances are linked with consciousness, they instantly become gross physical substance. I suppose that's it's part of their vividness. All these things exist, they're vivid, and materiality is part of the vividness. It's part of the vividness of consciousness. So I think all we can really get from this chapter is, no matter what's going on, no matter how we explain it, all these notions, all the objects, all these ideas, there's still this one fundamental intelligence operating, or just doing its thing, basically.